Hello, I'm Dan. Not Lord Skeptic today. Well, I can be. But this is a slightly different video. This is videos of my fan theories. This is a video, the theories of red dwarf. Now, I'm going to start with, well, the time they were wiped out in. This is sort of resolving the timeline, really. And so let's do this. Let's just see where this goes. Let's see. Stasis leak. There was the clock says on it Wednesday the 2nd of March 2077. Now I know that's actually a Tuesday. I reckon that a bit of the in the corner was out when it was well, bits of the lights were burnt off on the clock, and well, that's it basically. So it's a 2078. Yeah, it said a 7 because bits were not working. Well, 89 for 2089, 2039 and 2033 could work as well. It was just a year that the date was the same. I mean, they were in the 23rd century anyway. So that clock had the Y2.1K problem. Sit further back. Face him. And so I'm going for the last one, the same is 20. So I'm saying that it happened in the year 2098. It says it was 3 weeks before the crew got wiped out in the 23rd, which would bring it to the 23rd of March. In Me Squared, he said it was 6 weeks before the crew got wiped out. I actually think he meant to say 16 and weeks before he was put into stasis. That means he was put into stasis on the 17th of March and the crew got wiped out on the 23rd. That resolves that bit. What's this? I'll come back to that bit later. Actually, no, I'll do that one now. Lister's twin sons. Here we go. At the events of Parallel Universe, the Red Dwarf crew all go back to the universe where Jim and Bexy were conceived. And they return back to their own universe. And they arrive 1 year earlier. That's why they're 3,000,002 years after the crew got wiped out in body swap, even though Rimmer already had his 3,000,000 for Death Day. The Lister-Kachansky relationship. Now, at the start of it, he didn't really have a relationship with her at all, and then it changed after in series, was it 4? I actually think after the events of Time Slides, Lister and Crichton went to see if Stasis Leak was still there from the Stasis Leak episode. Crichton went through the Stasis Leak. Lister, he told us this is not because it wasn't safe for Lister because of the cadmium-2 radiation background. Crichton would be immune to it because of the mechanoid. Then Crichton took a picture of the stasis booth on floor 16, went back through the Stasis Leak, and he brought the picture to life. Fast forward it to the point where the Stasis Leak, appeared. When the Stasis Leak appeared, and Crichton and Lister went through that time slide, and they went through the Stasis Leak. The reason they had to go through the Stasis Leak is because they can't walk out the end of the photographs. Well, that's it basically. It appeared, and then they went through the time slides. The Crichton went through. Hang on. They went through the Stasis Leak to see if it was safe. Well, for Lister, he told Lister it was, so that Lister went through the Stasis Leak to have a relationship with Kachansky, and yeah, and that's basically it. And actually, that bit in stasis leak as well. You see, it happened between Series 4 and Series 5. Lister goes into stasis after the events of Meltdown. That stasis 3 years after the events of Stasis Leak. Go through that parallel universe, just like there for one day, where he goes to that theatre and that, and then there's some time dilation problem. Then when they return back to their own universe, there's a time dilation problem where they end up being 2 years after they left, which makes it 5 years after the events of Stasis Leak. And they go through time. They go through a time hole, which is where Lister goes back in time to marry Kachansky. And that's actually where they're coming back from at the start of Hollow Ship. And it explains why Lister is still 26 as well. Actually, I'll go on with this about Lister's age in another one a bit later. And going a bit backwards. Is there anything on back this one? Oh no, that's the same one. About Crichton. He says he was created in 2340. In Crisis, he says he's 2,976,000 years old. Well, he came off 2,976,000 years ago. That would mean that they were in the year 2,978,340 if they were there. I reckon 2340 is the last 4 digits of the year that Crichton was created. It was actually created in 32340, and that means that they're actually in the year 3,008,340. Lister says he's 50 in M-Core. He also says he has been away 5-6 years, not including stasis, back in the red. Should make him 31 in back then, 49 in Crisis. He was 30 turning 31 in back in the red. He was 49 turning 50 in Crisis. Back in the red, he's set 19 years before Crisis. Should be in the year 30 million. Sorry, in the year 3,008,321. In Anarchy, they're actually in stasis for 4,611 years. Yes, they're going to stasis to catch up with to recatch where they lost their jaw for Crichton Nanobots and everything. Here's Lister's birth. Lister was found in the year 2155. It said he was 6 weeks old. He says he's from the 23rd century. I think that in that point, they actually have like an orphanage stasis booths. They was put into stasis. They found someone to raise him, which was in the year 2273. Yeah, that's like 25 years further. So he was in stasis for 118 years. Lister dropped himself off 18 months after Kachansky boards. Yeah. Well, now that means that it's 3 weeks and there's 16. So another 9 months. The in vitro trip is straight away, really. So what happens is disable the time drive. The events of Tika to ride. At the events of Tika to ride, they started to hear it after they worked of Ouroboros. They put the 6-week-old Lister into stasis and took him out after the time drive was repaired, and then Lister took himself off his own time. Right. Lister. It says his person march. Now, hang on. Is that everything? So I'm sure there's another one somewhere. Birth. Stasis leak. I don't think so. I think that's everything. all the theories I have, really. So that's basically resolving the timeline, really. Oh, there's another one. Lister goes back into stasis after the events of Me Squares. He might generate a hologram version of himself. He comes out of stasis before the events of Crichton in the year 3,002,300 because there was something he needed his physical body for. That explains why Lister is still 25 in backwards. I got another. This one's not really time. It's more of a theory. Well, it kind of resolves the timeline of Rimmer killing himself. Now, I actually think the second polymorph, after the second polymorph goes in and he attacks Holly, a bit after his head sex change, because that explains why her personality's a bit different. Except the rest of the crew at some point, it caused them to hallucinate, well, have a dream or something like that. Well, maybe just Lister and Rimmer. Sometime in the events of time slides, after Lister said he could change his history, this and this. The attention sheet in the magazine. The second polymorph attacks them, and everything's a dream after that. And that's basically it. It was all a dream after that, and of course Rimmer being in the dream as well. It attacked. There's like the dream recorder causing Lister and Rimmer to be able to pan into Lister's dream. That's why they're sort of the same, really. That point where he appears in the room, that's actually Rimmer panning into Lister's dream. So that's basically it, really. So I said Lister's stasis 17 March 2298, wiped out 3rd of March 2298. Lister comes out of stasis in the year 3,002,298. They find Crichton in the year 3,002,300. And Fan Ceremony takes place 3,002,301 years afterwards. And when they go backwards, the reason that's because they need to repair Crichton straight away. The Infinity Fleet, which are in the third one, and so yeah, Hollow Ship, which is start 5 years after Stasis Leak, already said. Sirens, yeah, they're putting for 200 years. Lister's going for 200 years. In Rimmerworld, they go for a wormhole, which is 600 years. They come back, which is another 600 years. That's 1,200 years. Yeah, Sirens. Oh, sorry, I said Sirens starts the year 3,002,506. Rimworld, when he goes through the wormhole, it's in the end it's 3,003,106, and then they come out the other side, and then it's 3,003,706. Out of time set 2 years afterwards, 3,003,708. Lister's born in that year as well. This infant self from the infant tube, in vitro tube. Epideme starts 2 years afterwards, 3,000,710, and then they go into stasis for, I can't remember how many years it was, but it doesn't matter. 4,000 odd years. So it ends in the year 3,800. Hang on. 3,008,321. Only the goodies 1 year afterwards. In the year 3,008,322. Back to Earth is 9 years after. Only the good, I believe, or whenever. 3,008,331. 20 at the start of the series Series 11 is 3,800,000 is in the year 3. Series 11-12 take place in the year 3,008,340. Now, some other things now, which is more of a thing really. That's something out the 1999 2009 bridge. I'll probably do that in another video. This is my little theory about Series 9 and 10. Because in Back to Earth, it says that it takes place after Series 10. The Series 10 we have obviously takes place after Back to Earth. But I theorised that in the Back to Earth universe, they had Series 9, then they had Series 10, and we have then Back to Earth, and then what we have as Series 10 is like 6 one-off episodes which were set at different points, like one-off episodes. I think Trojan Could Go Anywhere. Fathers and Sons was the second one, which I reckon was a Father's Day episode. What's the one afterwards? Lemons, either Christmas or Easter, because that's got Jesus in it. Entangled Could Go Anywhere. Probably more Christmas with Lemons. Dear Dave. Have I missed one out? Yeah, Dear Dave, Mother's Day, because of the thing of, being a father, or even Father's Day. More likely Mother's Day. The beginning, definitely a Father's Day episode, because this is stuff with Rimmer and his father, really. So that's basically it. So again, my name is Dan, and as in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other, party on, dudes.